playing so well, like the advancements of technology and health. So maybe we could see it again, because the more you advance health and nutrition and workouts,
I think you could, but you also have to take advantage of those things.
Sure.
You have to be mature enough to see the big macro picture, which is I want to be the all-time great. Because, by the way, during this time, there's been twice as many Johnny Manziel stories where guys have all these opportunities and screw it up.
True. I'm really happy that you pointed out how well LeBron played last night.
Yeah.
His overall line, by the way, was 41 minutes, 29 points, 16 rebounds, and 9 assists. And all while he says he was so out of shape.
You have effectively busted out of your jersey. Can you describe your mentality in that fourth quarter?
I'm out of shape. Very out of shape for my expectations, and rightfully so. I haven't been able to play throughout the preseason. I played one game, re-injured my ankle. I don't like where I'm at right now, but you know, we got some practice. These games are going to help me out, but I'm out of shape. But the most important thing is we got the win.
Come on.
He did look heavier last night.
Come on. So he goes into the game with already having the excuse of, if we happen to lose, my ankle's bad, I don't know if I can even play. And then because it came down to a last-second shot that Kyrie missed, and they almost lost to the Celtics without Gordon Hayward, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm really out of shape. You weren't out of shape. You had a great game. You had great numbers. Maybe you looked a little heavy, but come on. That's what you're going to say at the end of the game?
I think he's very authentic, told the truth. I thought he looked puffy. He was puff.
Of course he was.
Puff daddy. I thought he was a little puffy. He came, his shirt ripped in the back. He was so out of shape.
Listen, I've got to say, if the Cavs were that close to losing to the Celtics without Gordon Hayward, that tells me more about the Cavs than it does about the Celtics. You don't see that at all?
I think Cleveland's really good. That's I don't take away much in the NBA first game. I took away that Gordon Hayward's injury is one of the saddest things I've seen, and it sucks. And the other thing I take away is we're not paying enough attention to Cleveland's roster.
I thought about the most, actually, when Gordon Hayward went down. First of all, yeah, that's extremely sad. I feel bad for the Celtics. I mean, they changed everything based on getting Gordon Hayward. But I looked at Kyrie's reaction, and I feel really bad for him, too, because he made this decision based on Gordon Hayward being there and being able to contend, and it's going to be very hard at this point to do that. And he had to regain his composure, all while he's playing against his former team on his former court, getting booed. So here's Kyrie after the game, and then also something from Jaylen Brown I want you to listen to.
I've seen you know, a few injuries in my career, and I've had a few, and I've seen a few, and probably two of the worst ones I've been in the game watching. One was at USA, and this one was tonight. So, you know, it's not a great sight to see, but you got to pick yourself up and just keep on fighting, man.
I feel when you get hit with adversity, there's two ways you can go. You can go forward or backwards. So I think tonight we chose to go forward. It's just play basketball, play for each other, play the game the right way, and I think we'll be fine.
Okay, a couple things here. Right, you can move forward or you can stay back where you were. So that's what he's talking about. Now the Celtics get the disabled player exception, so they have $8.4 million that they can work with, and they get an extra roster spot to work with as well, so that will help them. But I'm going to look for the positive in this. They don't have Gordon Hayward, and the knock is that it's going to take them longer now to be able to contend. But I will say that the other players will be able to develop faster because Gordon Hayward isn't there taking up those minutes. So, for example, Jaylen Brown, who you just heard from, he played 40 minutes and had 25 points. He's 20 years old. He's not going to get that with Hayward on the floor. So other guys will develop faster. Also, the critique even that you've given is that the Celtics are very young guys, right? Last night they were playing in a situation with the most possible pressure you can have. You're playing LeBron. You've got the Kyrie thing. You got him being booed. Gordon Hayward goes down. They didn't show any bit of being young. They played extremely well. They rallied around together. They almost beat the Cavs. So I'm not worried about them being young anymore. I think they proved that they can play through some tough situations.
Yeah, I don't think they're as good. I think last night...
Are you ignoring the score? I mean, did you see the score last night?
First of all, game one's mean nothing. Golden State lost last night.
I agree. It doesn't mean anything overall, but they competed with the Cavs without Gordon Hayward.
And the Cavs don't have Isaiah
Thomas
Thomas
had a triple-double. Oh, come on. Now Isiah Thomas is great? 'Cause
No,
last
no,
year you
but
were
he's-
saying he wasn't.
No, he's a really good scorer. I wouldn't build my franchise around him, but Cleveland won without Isiah Thomas. Once Isiah Thomas gets here, it's like, oh, good Lord,
Oh, so, hey, 3 points makes the difference. Okay. And finally, the other game last night, which went so late, Chris Paul and the Rockets played the Warriors.
Chris is hurt. He looked awful.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later, his knee injury, which is why he wasn't playing towards the end of the game. But he is also giving some more reasons why he left the Clippers. And if you noticed last night, he did not have the ball in his hands as much.
Yeah.
And he was basically saying this is kind of a culture thing. If you're not trying to contend with the Warriors, then what are we trying to do? A reason why he left, because he didn't feel they could contend.
Yeah.
He said, I had the ball in my hands way too much. I'm tired of dribbling and having to do so much. I would love to be able to get on the wing and shoot the ball, which is what you saw him do last night. I just don't know if that's a great fit for him.
Yeah, you can make the argument. I mean, I think, I don't take much out of last night other than Boston had a bad night. But everything else I watched, I'm like, it's such a, I have had NBA coaches tell me this. The NFL coaches do this a little less, but they do it. A lot of this stuff in the first 2 months, you're trying to figure out your defensive rotations. I mean, good God, Boston's roster, Cleveland's roster are like brand new rosters. So I don't take anything from it.
It certainly takes some time. I just think that last night showed that the Celtics, the younger guys, are going to be able to step up a little bit more. It's obviously going to take longer for them to contend like they had hoped. But it was a fun night of basketball.
It was a wild night of sports. Christine with the news. It was.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
It's my guy, show after me on Fox Sports Radio. Let's bring on Doug Gottlieb, former college basketball great, knows his stuff. Football is too. Also grew up a wild, crazy Angel fan, so you love baseball a lot more than people recognize. Let me just start with the Cavs Celtics roster. My takeaway last